I've been wanting to speak about this for a while, and the first thing my girl said to me when I said I wanted to speak about this what is the purpose of my video, and what message do I want people to take from this video. To be honest, my sole purpose of doing this video is simply to be heard. I'm over the notion of doing this video thinking that people will understand me, my decisions, my life, because no one ever will. I know people are gonna scrutinize me on social media, and that's fine. I've also come to terms with that, but at this moment in care, at this moment in time, I just don't really care anymore, because I feel like 2 years is such a long time for a person to be hidden. So at this moment, I just feel like I'm gonna burst. It's just affected me in so many ways, and I just can't hold it in anymore to protect people that probably wouldn't protect me if there was a reverse. So when I met D, person that you guys know as Burnaboy, it was about 2 years ago. He DM'd me, and I didn't reply to the DM. It took about a week for me to reply. One of my girls actually persuaded me to reply, and so I did, unwillingly. He was sweet, he was funny, we exchanged numbers, and he invited me to his pop-up shop thing, whatever, meet and greet thing, whatever. So I went there, not really knowing what to expect. So I went, I met him. I feel like what he made me feel like when he saw me was just kind of like a love at first sight type thing. Instantly, he just gravitated towards me. He was very sweet. It's like he had known me for years. And although I liked that, I was very hesitant because I've kind of vowed to never date anyone in the industry. So I kind of just took it all with a pinch of salt, and yeah. So over the next week or two, I started to fall for him as well, simply because for the first time I met someone whose words actually matched their actions. So not only would he tell me like he loved me and other personal things, he actually showed me this is somebody that always wanted me around. This is somebody who I basically moved in. I was staying at his weeks at a time. I wasn't going home to my parents. And he just never wanted me to not be there. He was always so affectionate, so loving, so caring. Always wanted me to be comfortable. He wanted me to follow him everywhere. I was with him at all his shows. Just everywhere he went, I was basically just there with him. And I liked that because for the first time, I felt somebody needed me for comfort and support. And usually I feel like I'm the dependent one. So to meet a guy that was dependent on me to a certain extent, and so caring and touchy-feely and just so openly emotional and expressive of his feelings was such a breath of fresh air, and I just loved it. Started to fall for him. Like I said, he was falling for me from what he was showing me, and you know, we loved each other, whatever. Things were great up until November. I think he had to go to Nige because obviously Christmas season is quite quite busy, so he had a lot of shows to do and stuff. So I remember the last night I saw him before he left, I was crying. He wiped the tears off my face. And he just told me how he loved me and then that he'll be back. So I was happy with that. I had like a bit of sweet feeling and my heart sunk because I just kind of knew that from that moment on things wouldn't be the same. I don't know why I thought that, but I did. But I just said, you know what, it's cool, whatever God wants done, so it will be. So he went back tonight and I think I just kind of moved back home type thing. But we'd always stay in contact. He'd call me every day, he'd message me every day, always on FaceTime. It was fine, like he was keeping to his word, which was nice. But randomly, I couldn't get in contact with him. I think it got to like mid-December or something. I couldn't get in contact with him. I was starting to get worried. Finally, after 2 weeks, he reached out to me, told me he'd been sick in hospital and he'd been going through some complications and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm in London and there's not much I can do. But I know that it just placed a great strain. He used to say to me, I don't know what this is that we got going on, but like, I like it. You're gonna be my wife. I'm gonna marry you. You're gonna have twins. You're my sweet salon jollof. That's what he used to call me, and it just, you know, he made me feel special. So obviously, he was just reinforcing all of that. But anyway, things from that December on were just a bit weird. Obviously, I wanted to come to Nigeria, but the people around him know what Ben is like when he's with me. Like, he doesn't ever want to do anything. He'd rather just chill with me than literally leave the house to do any sort of responsibility regarding music or whatever. So they were strongly against me coming to Nigeria anyway, which was fine because I had work as well. I remember me and him used to go back and forth. We were so desperate to see each other, and it was just like a really hard time for us. We had a big argument because the thing about me is I'm just like your typical girl. I just thought he was making excuses, but I just learned now that he wasn't, but that's fine. So anyway, we had a big argument and things went the same, they were a bit shaky, and I can't remember correctly, but I just feel like we just stopped talking to each other as much. But I just kind of kept faith because I was thinking, you know what, I'm not even going to stress myself. Like, I know you. I'm going to see you soon, so whatever. So, I think it was January, end of January. I go on social media, boom, I see Burnaboy is in a relationship with so-and-so. As in, I've never cried so hard in my life. Like, it felt like my heart was ripped out my chest. I literally collapsed and I cried for days, probably even weeks. Like, I cried my heart out. Imagine the last time you saw someone, they were going away and they were telling you how much they love you, and you know, they were supposed to come back. You had like an argument or whatever, and then the next thing they're dating so and so. I feel like the thing that hurt me the most about that as well is when I first met him, he always used to emphasize on how much he just loved black women, African women. He makes me feel so good to the point, I cut my hair recently. I didn't even wear makeup to go see him. He loves my short hair. He's always just telling me how beautiful I am. He just really helped boost my self-confidence in ways I didn't even think were possible. And I just love that about him. He just saw me for me, and he just loved me naturally, and I just have never had that before. So it's just, anyway, so yeah, I found out he was in a relationship with so-and-so. Crushed me, completely crushed me. So I mean, I wasn't really gonna sit around as well. I flew out. I went to Nigeria in March. Obviously I think he was back in Nigeria by that time as well, so obviously we were still in contact with each other. Like, he'd be messaging me and obviously I'd be giving attitude and whatever. Out of spite, I was just like, yeah, I'm in Nigeria, Nigeria's beautiful. And I was like, well, like, D, I waited for you for 3 months. Like, you come back with a girl, like, are you taking a piss? Like, he was like to me. I heard that you had moved on, hence I even got in this relationship in the first place. I was thinking, who the hell went and lied to you like that? But you know what? I just thought, like, cool, I just can't be bothered in it. Like, I'm a Nige, like, you're a Nige, but I ain't even gonna try to see you. Like, I'm not even trying to fuck with you like that. But just know that you're not the only person that's interested in me. Obviously, he was gobsmacked, whatever. I feel like as well, the reason why me and him got along and the reason why he likes me is because at the time I was quite innocent, quite naive. I don't really like my personal business being on social media. I was never in his face. I was never acting like a fan. Like, I just treated him like a normal human being. And I feel like he just loved that. I remember he used to say to me, like, why do you love me? Like, why don't you go and be with like a lawyer or a doctor? Like, why do you love me? And at the time, I just couldn't explain why I loved him. But I mean, I know now, like, at the time, I just had a strong feeling and I couldn't explain my love for him type thing. But now I just know it's because he was different. The way it made me feel about myself, how caring he was, how touchy-feely he was, how sensitive he was behind closed doors. Like, I love that about him. He was just perfect. Perfectly imperfect, but perfect for me. To the point where people around him were very cautious of me, and, you know, they were just thinking like, well, like, where's this girl coming from? Like, how come you guys have gotten so close so quickly? You guys are always together. Like, she's always at your shows. You're going here, she's there with you. Like, what is it about this girl? And we just couldn't explain it. We just used to stare at each other, laugh, and just kind of like awkwardly laugh and just kiss or whatever. Like, it was, I can't even explain how magical all that felt. Seriously, guys. Anyway, so Nigeria, I was only in Nigeria for about 2 weeks. I left Nigeria, came back to London. I literally refused to speak to him. Like, since that last conversation we had in Nigeria, I just kind of thought, like, you're lying. I was never in a relationship. I was waiting for you and you played me, and that's cool. So I think from like March or April, we didn't speak till May, when he reached out to me again, just like begging me to come and see him. And so I went to see him. I knew what was going on, but to be honest, at that point, I just thought that this relationship was fake anyway. Like, I just thought there's no way this boy is gonna go and date someone like that, only because of the things that he's told me about his ideal woman. Just knowing how he's so in tune with his African heritage and his love for black women. I just thought, you know what, this is a publicity stunt. I didn't even care. Went to see him. The biggest regret I have is never addressing the issue. I just kind of, we both didn't address the issue of this thing that came out in public. We both saw each other, and it's like two kids have been separated. We just ran to each other and kind of resumed things as normal, basically. Long story short, for the past 2 years, we've never stopped seeing each other. It's just been like an elephant in the room that we choose not to discuss. And we just kind of go about things like it doesn't exist. And I know some people are thinking, how do you even manage to do that? But I can't even explain how, but I have. And I just was in love. I've been in love for 2 years. Like, I've really been in love for 2 years, and I've been seeing him for 2 years, and just always around in the background somewhere. And like, and people are aware of me, but it's just like, people close to him are aware of me, but it's just unspoken of. Like, it's like I said, an elephant in the room. Sometimes I lay next to him and I go on UK Gossip TV and I just see the charade on social media, and I don't even know how that makes me feel. It just makes me feel cold. I blocked it out because he would just always tell me how he always come back to me and he loves me and I'm his baby and he's never ever gonna leave me. And like I said, me thinking that this relationship is fake just kind of didn't really help the situation, because in the past 2 years he has never ever mentioned the person I see him publicly with on social media to my face. That person doesn't even get acknowledged. It's like she doesn't even exist in our world. there's so much more I could go into detail about, but I can't expose everything, because no matter what I say, people are still gonna judge. So I love D, and I know this video is probably